Orange and blue today. It's OBT2. Cecil, Lammey, Andrew Mason. The more relaxed show.
Well, our feet are up.
Look at our feet.
Our shoes.
I'm the captain now.
Here's the thing. You don't want to see our feet.
You don't.
Like on an airplane. I'm okay with taking your shoes off and it's socks. But if you're wearing sandals or Crocs or whatever, I don't want to see your feet. Like with them, without the shoe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keep the dadgum shoe on.
Right.
Or if you're wearing socks, don't take them off because your feet need to breathe. No. You don't do that.
No.
Sorry.
Everyone else needs to breathe. That's why you don't do that. But
yeah, because feet, I mean, unless you're Rex Ryan, feet aren't great,
Maybe with Rex Ryan, the feet are great.
Well, we're just going to put our best foot forward.
Okay.
As we do this show.
Yes.
As the Broncos dip their toe into the quarterback waters.
I like that.
Okay.
So they avoid the agony of defeat.
Exactly.
Okay. Mason Cease, talking quarterbacks. So much to get to today.
Who stepped up today? Speaking of feet.
You had to do that.
Yes.
You had to do that. I'm trying to get in the show.
I can't help it. I'm channeling my inner Wes Welker.
At least we're not
the greatest press conference ever. Wes Welker dropping foot references in advance of a Patriots game with the Jets.
At least we're not 20 minutes in before talking about football. Let's talk about JJ McCarthy.
I can't believe you went
Drake May. That's fine. They'll be fine. You look at these two specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You were at Drake May's presser. I was at JJ McCarthy's presser. We had a double, split it up today.
They had Drake May, JJ McCarthy, and Bo Nix talking at the same time today.
Thanks, NFL. So you get
this is the problem with the combine today.
Right. That's the problem with the combine. So you get that, Mace. But you and I both had observations about their mannerisms, how they answered questions. We do have some JJ McCarthy clips I'll play in a little bit, but let's talk about that because your insight on May, just from his almost body language, I thought was fascinating. And I've got some same stuff about McCarthy.
It's interesting because like with Drake May, he is very positive, but it's a very kind of genuine positivity.
You said organic earlier.
Organic. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good way of putting it. He's talked, for example, about things he's learned, about leadership, about the kind of presence you want to have in the locker room. Like he talked, for example, about what he got from the year sitting behind Sam Howell at North Carolina 2021, and learning like everything from how to handle adversity to how you conduct yourself with the media, how to kind of relate to everybody in the locker room.
Right.
And it was really interesting because I know there's been some talk about the positivity of Russell Wilson and how some have even used the phrase toxic positivity, right?
Okay.
It can be a bit much, but with Drake May, it just seemed like it had a different feel to it, especially because also if we're talking about someone who's emphasizing kind of being there in the locker room for his teammates, what's the one thing that we observed and one thing from talking to a lot of people in Seattle that they observed is that Russell Wilson, like when in those periods where the locker room is open, the media is very,
separate.
Yeah. There are a lot of conversations going on with a lot of players at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And Russell Wilson's really involved with them. Jarrett Stidham's talking to like everybody.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it was interesting because like the way, because I think people might hear Drake May and kind of being very, today walking on the sunny side of the street, and say, oh, that's a little bit much, but it had a different vibe than other forms of positivity. The other thing I like about Drake May is he had an interesting habit. And for me, with my spectrum brain, I appreciated this. There's a cue that he has that lets you know he's really listening to you. He would lean forward. Like if he, there's someone who's asking a question, he leans in to kind of listen. kind of and looks at you like I thought and that for like the cues, because I struggle with like non-verbal cues, right? It's got to be like obvious that I was very comfortable kind of asking Drake May questions, and I felt it was I thought he came across really well today.
Okay. I would say teammates can tell you a lot about these players and what they think of their teammates. I love all my teammates. Yes, that's right. But something that JJ McCarthy said that I really, really enjoyed, and he's a high vibrational person. You can tell he meditates.
And Drake May's teammates think very highly of him. That's another thing.
But you heard something JJ McCarthy say that I don't know in 20 years of broadcasting, Mace, if I've ever heard a player say. He said that Jim Harbaugh taught him, and he just understood that some of your teammates will never play football again. And you need to enjoy that moment with them. We're talking about national championship, lots of wins in high school, lots of wins in college. And whether it was a high school prep teammate or it was a collegiate teammate of JJ McCarthy, he was so aware of the guys that weren't going to. We all don't make it, right? So for me, it was at high school, and I wasn't that good anyway as a quarterback. But either way, like
we're all told, as was said in Moneyball, we're all told that we can't play the kids' game.
Yes.
Sometimes we're told at 18. Sometimes we're told at 40.
Yeah.
But we're all told.
Sometimes we're told at 11. Like,
again, unless you're Tom Brady.
Right. It varies for everybody, but I really love that insight, Mace, because it showed how McCarthy just thinks at a higher level.
Yes. And, I mean, I'll say this also. I appreciate Jim Harbaugh noting that to his players, because a lot of those Michigan guys are going on to the next level. They're going to play here, and some
a lot of them are here at the combine.
Yes, and some that don't stick man up in the CFL, whatever. But even for a national championship level team, there are players out there playing their last game ever. The football life ends right there. Recognizing this also reminds you of the variance that you see in college football. And it's one thing that makes evaluating quarterbacks hard, because even when you're facing a terrific team, there's probably someone out there in coverage who, when their college football days are done, they're going to grad school. They're moving on with what Chuck Noll would call your life's work, right? When that was something that Chuck would always say to players, like when he was coaching the Steelers, when the end was coming, he'd ask them, "What's your life's work going to be?" Because it's not playing the kids' game.
Football's temporary.
Yeah. And I think with JJ taking that to heart, I think gives him an enhanced appreciation of what he has, of maximizing the moment.
I like it. He's got next level ability. And I'll play this clip, Mace. We got to listen to it, because
there were some really interesting things JJ said today.
Yes. And I'm going to
He came across very impressively.
Very impressive. I'm going to start with what he said. I'm a person who meditates multiple times a day. Usually in the morning is when my first meditation, obviously. But I start the day by meditating every day. It's important to me. I enjoy talking to high vibrational people. I do not enjoy talking to low vibrational people. That's just me. Doesn't mean I'm better or worse.
For those who aren't familiar, difference between high vibrational and low vibrational.
Low vibration is basically not being aware of how you treat others. I've always said that true enlightenment comes when you understand why people behave the way that they do, and you don't allow that to change the way that you treat them. Be a good person. If someone's a jerk to me, I'm not necessarily going to be a jerk back. I'm going to understand, okay, that's the way you are. I'm going to treat you differently, and I'm going to wish you well. I'm not going to spend a lot of time around you. So that's what I mean by high vibrational and low vibrational. High vibrational understands we're all in this together collectively. Low vibration is only focused, very selfish. It's
very narcissistic
versus selfish. Yes.
Okay.
So let's hear JJ on because Romy Bean, the wonderful Romy Bean, had the question because we'd all seen JJ McCarthy meditating before games. So here's his answer to that.
I would say, it helps me the most because no matter where you are in life, no matter what, position you're in, as long as you're in the present moment, you're going to perform at the most optimal state as you can. And, that's something that, creates discipline, creates a foundation of just being able to be responsive to things instead of react to things and be able to dictate your day more. So it's just another tool that's going to help me handle the process, like you said, and the pressure. But yeah, it's just ultimately something that's going to help me in all areas of life, not just football.
Hear it right there.
There's something interesting I like, they said. Responsive instead of react.
I was going to tee you up with that. So
I
think that's
that
very
jumps
important.
out to me.
Because when you respond, again, someone's rude to you. You respond with thought. You react with like anger or emotion instantly. Like when I wanted to fire Vance Joseph after week 3. Anyway,
no,
I always try to.
But all of us struggle with that, right?
Yes,
there's something to being able to take time and cool off, and usually, for most of us, it takes that cooling off period to turn reaction into response.
Yes, very much so.
You sleep on it and then respond. If you have that initial angry email back, it's a reaction.
Yes. Angry text, whatever. Like,
I have usually learned how to put the phone down or not respond right away. Take some space, right? Because in the moment, but the thing is, how do you get your reaction to become response a little more quickly, right? Like that's the thing. And it is a game of passion. It is a game of emotion, is football. But those reactions, if they're reactions and not responses, they can cause harm to the team as well.
Right.
Okay.
I threw a pick. I need to make a touchdown on the very next play.
Right.
McCarthy doesn't do that.
Right. And so one mistake becomes 2 or 3 like that because you're having a reaction.
Right.
And the response is, it's funny. Like, there's a phrase that gets thrown around in sports, right? Like, after someone beats you, okay, we got to respond. It's not react.
Right. We got to react.
It's not. It's how do we respond? Okay, they just went 90 yards on us in 3 plays. It's not how do we react to that. How do we respond? What's our response?
I'm glad you picked up on that because that was my favorite part of that answer, and
that's
also
really
leads
good.
Me to,
that's some high level thinking.
Yes, high vibration.
So from a young guy, that's another thing.
Right. One of the young guys here. Most of the quarterbacks here are old.
He's one of the youngest players, period, at this combine.
Exactly.
And
you have that sort of level of thinking from that young man.
That's a middle-aged maturity right there.
Thank you for calling me middle-aged. I'm not. But anyway, what
is middle-aged anyway?
I have no idea. People say midlife crisis when you're 30. So they're like, did you grow your hair out when you're midlife crisis? I'm like, I'm 20 years past my midlife crisis. You kidding me?
Wait, the midlife crisis is 30? I thought it was 40.
I have no
or
idea.
45.
I don't know.
Or 47.
I don't know. I have no idea. I have none of these ideas, but I have this idea. How about this?
Tell me.
Does this explain...
As people get a load of our legs, by the way.
Right.
Our pants.
Does this explain why JJ McCarthy is so good at working under a coach like Jim Harbaugh and would be so good under Sean Payton?
Holy crap.
I just there you go.
That is...
Drop the mic.
To quote Kramer on Seinfeld, that's just so sane, it blew my mind. How do you handle the ebbs and flows of a coach who can be notoriously hard on his quarterback?
Right.
Jim Harbaugh was a college and pro quarterback. Of course, they've got him honored over at Lucas Oil Stadium down the street, right?
Go right behind us a little ways.
Yeah, you go down there
somewhere.
You go down there and you see
Captain Comeback.
Jim Harbaugh. It's on the facade there, right? Captain Comeback. So he's played the game. He's played the game at a high level, and okay, yeah. Wow.
Isn't that cool, dude?
Jim Harbaugh prepares JJ McCarthy for Sean Payton.
More than any other coach prepared any other quarterback for Sean Payton. You got to be ready for that guy.
It's interesting to like hear like the whispers and what people are concluding. I think Dan Orlovsky of ESPN was saying like I'm calling it Bo Nix to the Broncos. I get the feeling from what we have here this week that it's that if I were saying, okay, who's the favorite? JJ. I think JJ is the I think we're leaving here maybe saying that of the quarterbacks, who is most likely to be a Bronco, or maybe who's their choice. I think it's JJ.
It could be JJ McCarthy, who met the Broncos. Let's play that clip for you right now.
It was awesome. You know, Coach Payton's energy, Coach Webb, Coach Lombardi. It was just really great to be in that room with them and go through tape. It was honestly a really fun time. So it was a blessing to just, pick their brains a little bit and have them, just shoot me questions left and right, and I really enjoyed it.
JJ, did you get a chance with Sean Payton? How do you see yourself with him?
Fellow Illinois guy, absolutely would be an honor to play for him, and just everything about this process has been so great, and any team who selects me would be an honor.
Couple of things. First of all, not related to Sean Payton, related to Davis Webb, the quarterback coach, because both Drake May and JJ McCarthy spoke highly of Davis Webb.
Right.
Okay. Second, he spoke of energy with Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Energy.
I could meditate with JJ McCarthy. Be cool. A little yoga, right?
Are you putting that out there as an offer to
a little hot yoga? I was CJ Anderson's bowling partner. I could be the yoga partner of JJ McCarthy. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what else he said there?
Besides Sean Payton's energy?
Well, I will quote Star Wars. And yes, on OBT2, we're going to bring up Star Wars. So just please be kind in the comments. Please. We're just trying to relax. Oh, my God. Anyway.
We were pretty relaxed yesterday.
We were.
Some would say so relaxed, as it was brought up to me.
Yes. Very relaxed.
Did we have a few cold pops?
Maybe.
No.
Well,
not before the show. We didn't.
Not before the show. There is another. Because we've heard guys talk about Davis Webb. We've heard guys talk about Sean Payton a lot. A lot of high praise for Sean Payton. He also brought up Joe Lombardi. So other quarterbacks have said, and other players have forgotten the names of the Broncos coaches they met with. They meet with a zillion people. I'm not holding it against a guy, okay? I'm not holding it against a player at all if they're like, whatever that coach is, I don't know. But to bring up Sean Payton, to bring up Davis Webb, and then to bring up Joe Lombardi. High-level thinking, man.
Let's step inside JJ McCarthy's mind a little bit more. Where do you think he wants to end up? Because you heard him answer questions about all sorts of teams.
Yes.
And he was positive about all of them.
Very much so. Talked a lot about the Raiders. He's asked 3 times about the Raiders. If you show up late to a press conference, don't ask something that's already been asked. Whatever. Okay. I said I was going to relax, and here I am getting gritchy. Easy. Light and sweet, baby. Light and sweet.
You're a mantra guy.
Yes, very much so.
Light and sweet is
yes.
your mantra.
And why did I tell you I say that? Do you remember? Because you said, why do you say light and sweet all the time?
I thought it was like just to kind of help you get into a calmer mind frame. To kind of to basically not, I would say this, to respond and not react.
I told you specifically it's so I don't get angry.
Yeah.
Light and sweet.
We wouldn't like you when you're angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry either.
I don't like me when I'm angry. So it's like, okay, where does he want to end up? Honestly, he might want to go to Denver. I'm just guessing. Total guess. I heard him talk about a lot of teams.
Yeah.
One seemed a little above others, and that's the Denver Broncos. You give me chills.
Well, we're talking about
this.
Quarterbacks here.
Yes.
But, Drake May talking about, how much he enjoyed talking with the Broncos, Sean Payton, we used the word awesome to describe him, praising Davis Webb, sorry.
Right.
Davis Drake. Jaden Daniels referring to Sean Payton as the guru.
Yes.
JJ McCarthy, waxing poetic.
Mm-hmm.
And Bo Nix of Oregon asked pretty quickly. He was asked first about the Raiders and then about the Broncos. And he's like, not getting into specifics. Another team, really powerful, really strong, running in the right direction. Good respect for Sean Payton and what he has done and will probably continue to do. It's all about the quarterback, and
Yes.
Sean Payton connects with these guys. And this is going, whatever relationship comes to fruition is going to be nothing short of defining the Broncos for the next several years and defining Sean Payton's legacy.
Right.
Whatever happens, I feel like some seeds may have been planted today.
As the bells ring behind us.
That's very appropriate.
It is. 2 months to define your legacy.
Yeah. You
It's
must
important.
choose, but choose wisely. It's like in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh.
You don't want to choose. You don't want to choose the fancy cup. That's another thing.
Okay.
You know, it was the chalice that was beaten up and faded and didn't have ornamentation. It had substance to it, right? That's another thing. So you want a quarterback who's got substance.
I think JJ McCarthy has plenty of substance. Now, I was asked earlier today on coffee break with horrible internet at the convention center, so I apologize, but Rachel V. Hill did
We're
ask
using
me.
the internet at the convention center right now.
We're the only ones here now.
That's true.
This morning, it was very active.
Yeah, those bells just told us we are here 2 hours
Past.
after the closing of the media room
Yeah, they kicked us
at
out.
the Indiana Convention Center. Yeah, we were
We were
booted.
kicked out.
Booted at 4:00.
So Rachel asked me this morning, and I wanted to reiterate it and get your opinion. She said, it sounds like you're higher on JJ McCarthy. I said, no. Film tells me he's a high second-round pick, like Drew Brees.
You went there.
I'm not changing my
Well,
film
Drew Brees
study.
in today's draft would have 32nd overall would have snuck into the first round.
True. He would have been like JJ McCarthy. So while I like JJ McCarthy more now because he's, very high vibrational, I'm not changing my grade because the combine won't make me change my grade. It never has. It never really will. Mace, where do you stand now on McCarthy, having heard the comments, understanding he may prefer the Broncos over any team?
I mean, he's still QB4. But
Are we sure about that?
What?
Are we sure about that?
My QB4.
Oh, okay.
My
Yes.
QB4
Yes.
for me.
Yes.
And that's not bad. Look, here's another thing. It's fashionable to say, oh, this QB class, maybe it's not all that's cracked up to be. It's going to be a better QB class than next year.
Right.
It's a better QB class than certainly 2 years ago.
Yes. I honestly hate when people say that. Well, yeah, there's going to be 5 quarterbacks in the first round, but how many are going to play? Oh, my God. You have to take them when they're there. They're there, everybody. They're there.
If next year ends up being a 2 QB draft, this team isn't going to have the type of record that's going to allow them to get in position.
No, not at all.
So it's the time to strike is right now. And I think in that building, there's an understanding of it, that this is, the number 12 overall pick, and it's a draft where probably 5 quarterbacks go in the first round.
Yes.
Which is unusually high. This is the moment to get in position to get one of those. But like you said, if it's JJ McCarthy, how high do you have to go? If he's QB3, how high do you have to go?
You have to get in front of Atlanta. We have the dominoes to fall yet. Justin Fields.
The question is,
Cousins.
do you have to get in front of the Giants?
Yeah.
At 6.
Maybe.
Okay. Chargers are at 5. Why would the Chargers help the Broncos?
They wouldn't. And by the way, I still don't think Jim Harbaugh, that's a no. Like, there's no way they would take.
You think
McCarthy
Jim
at 5.
Harbaugh you think Jim Harbaugh wants to see JJ McCarthy twice a year?
No.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's call Arizona at 4, maybe?
Yeah. New England, from what I know, New England is waiting for Jaden Daniels. If Jaden Daniels goes at 2, as Adam Peters seems to like Jaden Daniels with the Commanders,
there's some serious
New England will
fire to
move
that
off
smoke,
of 3. And I've also heard that New England could be considering moving back into the end of the first for Michael Penix. More on him in just a little bit. We have some video from Michael Penix.
Mm-hmm.
So New England's plan may be Daniels isn't there, move back from 3, move back into the end of the first, and get Michael Penix. What do you think about that?
Saucy.
Not spicy?
Are we retiring spicy?
We should retire everything Team 3. Some kid was here with Team 3 gear on, you saw.
Yeah.
It's like, poor kid. Who does that? Was he taller than Russell Wilson?
Oh, come on. That's just a low blow.
I had to ask.
Dude.
What? That's just a question. You said it was a kid. You didn't say it was like 5 years old or 12 years old.
Looked about.
It's just a question.
Looked about 4th or 5th grade.
Okay.
The 3 brand.
Yeah. Team 3. Retire everything Team 3, please.
Well, I wonder if the House of LR&C DIA is going to stay open.
I don't know.
Out there in Terminal C.
Yeah. What am I? I think I'm C, right? Southwest?
Yeah, Southwest is C.
I'll double check for you. You go to Lock Miller's?
Yeah, I looked at their website. It's pronounced
like
Lock Miller's.
Miller's.
I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
It looks like Low Miller's, right?
Yes, LOUGH.
Yes. It's not. So anyway,
yeah, I'll go. We have to do the Russell Wilson farewell things. We have to have one more Danger Witch. Spicy. There you go. Last time.
And then get a napkin from Lock Miller's. Which one of Michael Penix do you want to hear first? Do you want to hear him talk about his meetings with the Broncos, which he said were interesting, or do you want to hear him talk about his work ethic?
Let's go with the work ethic.
Okay. And of course, having heard about potential work ethic things, I had to ask Michael Penix.
Is anyone else talking about this other than you?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But I've heard it from 2 separate people, separate sources that I trust with teams, not media members. And so I wanted to ask Michael Penix about that. So I had an opportunity. Get your eardrums ready. So I asked him today.
Mike, you could have given up and you didn't give up. Tell us where that work ethic came from.
Yeah, just since I was a kid, giving up, that was never in my blood. My family, my parents, they never let me give up, quit anything in my life, so it's always, if you start something, you're going to finish it. So I knew that I was never going to give up, but I just continue to trust in my faith, trusting the people around me and continue to take it day by day and just enjoying each and every moment.
Thanks, Mike.
And there he is, enjoying each and every moment. Except I don't know if he enjoyed talking to the Broncos. I mean,
that's actually why I wanted to have that clip before the Broncos clip.
For the word enjoy. Okay.
The Broncos and Sean Payton made things uncomfortable. Remember I alluded to the movie Defending Your Life with Albert
I've never
Brooks?
seen.
Yeah.
Why didn't we watch that this week? Oh yeah, we didn't even turn the TV on. Except for the Nuggets. You had to watch a little of the Nuggets game last night.
I had to, check in.
I wanted to watch Deepfake George Lucas, and he's over here.
We watched both.
We did.
The Deepfake George Lucas was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And it led to me, I was laughing so hard, I farted.
Only on OBT2 is he going to tell you that.
It was so funny that trumpet was playing, man.
It was.
Yeah, the posterior trumpet.
Over
and over again.
Funny stuff.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Anyway, so yeah, Deepfake George Lucas.
So the movie, I can't remember the name that I haven't seen, right? But you said, enjoy. Michael Penix said, enjoy, but they made him uncomfortable. You were going to quote the movie that I said, and then I got him sidetracked with gas.
Defending Your Life. The whole premise is that when you die, you go to this place called Judgment City where they relive the 7 days from your life, and based on that review, they decide whether you advance to the next plane of existence or go back to Earth for another try.
Okay.
And so it's like some of it's like reviewing some bad days, and at one point in the film, they just go through and like all these misjudgments of Albert Brooks's character, misjudgments are just farcical things like he like cranks up a chainsaw and gets turned around and like slices down a patio umbrella, or like there's one scene where they show him pulling away from a used car lot, and like he pulls away and the two guys working the used car lot, they wait, hey, great, enjoy the car, and then the car pulls away, they start sucker, yes.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, that's the sort of thing that happened to Michael Penix Jr.
Judgment City in Indianapolis.
It was Indianapolis was Judgment City, and they were reviewing some of his lesser moments, can we assume they included plays from the national championship game?
It might mostly be from that big game against Michigan.
Yeah, because there weren't a lot of low moments.
No, pressure-wise,
Penix
was good.
Penix until then.
All season, and then Michigan just destroyed him.
Let's hear from Michael Penix Jr.
I'd say roll that beautiful bean footage, but beans will make you gassy. So let's just play Penix.
I'm not living that one down.
You said it. I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say, and his butt was pointed at me.
Hey.
So, anyway, don't take that out of context. Here you go, Michael Penix.
Yeah, it went good. It went good. Man, it was an interesting meeting. You know, it was different than the others. You know, but I felt good. I felt confident going into it. Going out of it, I felt confident as well. You know, and playing for Coach Sean Payton, you know, that'd be special. You know, obviously he's a great coach. You know, one of the best in the game. You know, and to be able to learn from him, it would be special. Yeah, they were tough. They were tough. They were trying to. You know, they put up a lot of bad plays, you know, but it's good, you know, because, you know, at the next level it's hard to win, you know, I understand that, and, you know, I feel like in ways that he was probably trying to see how I reacted, you know, to those bad plays, if I could take accountability and stuff like that, and, you know, I'm always going to do that, you know, I'm always going to put others before me, and I'm going to be honest about everything, so.
Penix, you're one.
Yeah, so he's going to be honest about those bad plays. So he said it was to make him uncomfortable, but he responded well, I suppose.
Yes.
Go back to response.
So, metaphorically speaking, you're putting the pressure on him in the same way that Michigan's front seven put the pressure on him a month and a half ago.
It's very true.
Yeah. That is something, though. You do want to not let it all be kind of happy-go-lucky. You want, at some point, it's going to be uncomfortable, face some uncomfortable truths. Now, as we've talked about with the Broncos, this is one step. They're going to have a presence at a lot of these pro days. You know, they're going to take them out for dinner, right? Something that's pretty common, especially with quarterbacks when you're getting to know them, because you take them, interact with them. There are going to be some private workouts. There's probably going to be multiple top 30 visits to the Broncos facility in April, right? This is one step. I think it's interesting that this was with Michael Penix Jr. here, because I think maybe it's okay. Let's see how he responds, and if he responds well, you do pass him to the next level.
Judgment City,
right? You go on to the next level of existence.
It sounded like Penix responded.
You should watch this movie.
I should. It sounds like something I'd really enjoy.
Yeah.
But Penix also, it's like he said it was different from everyone else. So that also goes, okay, why
every other team
Penix,
that he interviewed with.
Yes. Why did other teams treat Penix differently? We all saw the game against Michigan. Like, the Broncos chose to kind of put his feet to the fire a little bit, test him a little bit. Yeah.
Right. Now, one thing, he didn't mention whether he had an informal conversation at the Senior Bowl. You'd guess that there was at least some interaction in Mobile, right?
Right.
Because you have that opportunity. It wouldn't have been with Sean Payton, of course, but you did have staff there. So maybe it was one of those things where, okay, it's like it's the first time for Sean Payton to be involved, but there's already kind of been a groundwork laid, right? So now is the time to test. It sounded like he felt pretty good about how he responded, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this: there are some impressive things that we've seen about Michael Penix Jr. in this process. Like when we were down in Mobile, and he's what was it, a cover 3 beater?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he just quickly rattles off exactly what he'd do in terms of adjusting pre-snap, how he'd move a receiver around. Like, you can find that on my social media. I know we had that clip here on this show a few weeks ago.
Yes.
High football IQ.
Yes.
Really high football IQ.
Very bright.
Mm-hmm.
The arm talent. I know the arm angle is weird and it's left-handed, whatever.
He can make all the throws.
Arm talent, it's pass placement. It's elite level arm talent. Before the Michigan game, I was on the fan. I was on Orange Blue today saying Michael Penix could be a top 15 pick.
Who's got the greater arm talent, you'd say, Penix or McCarthy?
McCarthy just hasn't done it enough. Like,
True.
If we just take
what we've seen right now.
Yes.
The body of work in
Penix.
Arm talent goes to Penix.
Penix. Yes. Penix. But he also has 2 bum shoulders, 2 bum knees.
Right.
And a small lower body that bothers me.
And he's older.
Yes. Very much so.
I think they're intellectually, these are both high football IQ players.
Yes.
And they're both, they both appear to be, again, this is the one thing that can be tricky going from the college to the pro ranks and judging. They both appear to be quick processors.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Do you think, to wrap up today's program, we have a special guest to the live studio audience, Jay Lyston, Marvel artist over there. What's up, Jay? We're going to head out to dinner here in a little bit.
No.
But to wrap up today's show, OBT2, was Drake May a little nervous?
That may be the case. He was talking really fast.
Is that just the way he is, or was that just today?
He does get a lot of words in a short amount of time. And the reason why I observe this is I had transcription duties. So when you're
doing yeoman's work,
when you're transcribing somebody who talks really fast and you've got to kind of rewind quite a bit, like it's a little, and you're kind of, okay, what do you say? What do you say there? It can be a bit of a challenge.
Lots of rewinding.
Yes. Sometimes, especially when I do OB2, I can be very deliberate. Just a different, different way of communicating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's negative, but yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, I hesitate to get too judgmental. I don't think we should be judgmental about any of these guys. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, which sucks because part of the football opinion sphere is making judgments, and I kind of bristle at that.
Well, and they're here to be tested. That's the combine. They're medically tested, physically tested.
And the media, the media thing is part of the test, which is why Marvin Harrison Jr. not talking to the media today is a big deal. Caleb Williams, who famously and admittedly doesn't really like that part of it, did talk.
And he was asked about that like immediately. Again, I wasn't at Caleb Williams' interview.
Someone came in way too hot at the start.
You gotta warm him up.
The first question thrown at him: "Are you afraid to compete?" Because he wasn't working out here. No. You do not fire the 99-mile-an-hour fastball with the first pitch. Okay, let's set him up. Let's get a let's get a curveball here. Or if it's a if you're throwing the fastball, it's not the extreme heat. You're throwing it about 94, 95.
Mm-hmm.
You're not firing the potential triple-digit pitch down there unless you're old as Chapman. I know you don't know who that is.
No idea.
That's fine.
Right over my head.
Yeah, the fastball might go over your head if the control's not there. And at times for Chapman last year, the control wasn't there.
I don't think there's a control on some of the questions at the combine. We might want to leave that alone for purposes. But yeah, it's amateur hour sometimes at the combine.
Oh God. You don't really want to talk about that.
No, I don't really want to talk about that. But like,
I've said my piece on social.
You've said your piece on social. I just feel like there needs to be more professionalism in the media when it comes to interviewing these players. This is a huge job interview for them, and you don't want some stupid question to mess these kids up. You know?
Yeah. Like flat Earth.
Or pigeons.
Or is the moon landing real?
Can you land a plane? And there was one kid doing it. Pull his badge. My recommendation in the NFL: pull his badge. I don't know who it is. I don't even care.
They won't.
Why? This isn't Super Bowl media night. Super Bowl media night. I kind of understand that because you're wearing a Dr. Seuss hat or whatever. Like, dude, at this event, in this job interview, because remember, Super Bowl's before the game.
That's how mad I got it.
You're getting mad, getting upset, throwing stuff around here at the convention center.
Mason's getting upset.
You wouldn't like him when he's angry. Hey, Jay's drawn the Hulk quite a bit.
Yeah.
With Avengers. So
yeah,
there you go. I'll just say this. This is a different event. These guys are getting a job interview. You want to ruin some kid's chances because he's out there talking about the moon landing being fake? Like, come on, man. He may feel that way, but to publicly have that and have it go viral and to have teams ding a young man because of that.
Because they might think the earth is flat. Well, I would ding a player. I'm sorry. Because that's like...
But in an interview with a player, are you going to even ask him that? Maybe teams do ask stupid questions like that. There used to be the "how hot is your girlfriend" question that we don't need to get into, but like, so teams used to ask stupid questions. I don't know if they're asking that.
No, but I'm sure they're coming up with new stupid questions because there's
the NFL with a new level of stupid.
There is no deeper reservoir in human existence than the reservoir of stupidity. Right? There will always be. You can't go lower. Oh, like humanity, like, oh yeah, we'll go lower.
Hold my beer.
Yes, we'll go. Yeah.
Sometimes with beer. Sometimes fueled by beer. Anyway.
I mean, yeah.
I've said my piece. You said stuff on social. Combine needs to be better. It needs to be better. It's a good event. It's a good project. Indianapolis, good city. This is done here. Like, I want a little sharper. I'm a little sharper.
Yeah, I'll say this for like Super Bowl media night, like that first night. It is a circus. It is a joke.
And you kind of expect that.
But I will admit, I have one regret about my Super Bowl media night years.
What was that?
I wish that in advance of Super Bowl 50, I had partnered up with someone and we had gone as Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber with the orange and blue ruffled tuxedos.
Maybe that's our Halloween costume next year.
No.
A little more involved.
I'm willing to say, let's be positive when the Broncos get back to the Super Bowl. Not if. Sort of like the Great Pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole thing of like, you can't say if, it has to be when. And Linus, like, when he says if, it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm questioning my faith. So we'll say when. When the Broncos get back to the Super Bowl, I think it's time for the Dumb and Dumber tuxedos for media night.
Okay.
Yes.
I would do that with you.
Orange and it's orange and blue, it's appropriate. And of course, the other level of that is, where are they when they wear those tuxedos in the film?
They're at a charity event.
In
Aspen.
Yes, they're in Colorado.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
A place where the women instinctively flow like the salmon of Capistrano.
So we can fight with our canes.
Yes.
We won't hurt any animals.
No destruction of the snow owl.
Yeah, no snow owls.
Boy, this party really died.
Right. Nice set of hooters. He's talking about the owls. I'm going to be very clear about that. Anyway, that's a wrap for the show. We will, if the Wi-Fi in the stadium is good enough, we will have a pre-quarterback drill show tomorrow morning.
Yep.
We have 2 special interviews coming up that'll be a YouTube exclusive, just like this show is.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure to help us out on YouTube, Mace.
Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you never miss a vid. That was good.
That's
Didn't
correct.
use the feet this time.
I know.
That's because I'm leaning forward.
You got fired up. You're not going to mess around with the heater?
Look, I made a comment on Twitter. I don't care what it is. I'm calling it Twitter. Okay. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I made a comment that somebody who denies basic science, like says that the earth suggests that the earth is flat, I would take off my draft board. I have my reasons for that, and I will defend them.
And that's your opinion?
Yes.
That's fine, right?
In pro sports at this level, it's as much mental as physical. And I have reason to question the brain side of it. If you think the earth is flat, off my list.
Okay.
Sorry, that's, your opinion may differ. That's fine. That's how I feel. Geno Smith saying, I may be with Kyrie on this flat earth thing. Well, hey, Geno, I'm sorry that you can be quarterback for somebody else. Unless you really walk that thing back. Yeah. I still think that's the thing with Geno Smith. In my crazy ass brain, my spectrum brain, the first thing I think of with Geno Smith is I may be with Kyrie on this flat earth thing.
First thing I think of Geno is that he came back in New York City at Radio City Music Hall. Was it the last draft that made it Radio City? I can't remember, but I was there. It was before they went to Chicago in like 2015 or whatever. But yeah,
it was 2013 draft.
2013 draft, and I always
so
gave
maybe
Geno
it was the
credit
next
that he came
to last.
back.
Because wasn't it still there in 2014?
I believe so. And then Chicago was 2015, 2016.
Because when they did draft day, the film in 2014, the draft was at
Yes.
Radio City.
Yes, had to sign an NDA because somewhere in that background at Radio City was yours truly.
Yeah,
Cecil.
and they have the rights like anywhere, and the NDA is like the rights anywhere in the universe
Mm-hmm.
in perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen those. It's pretty wild to think about that.
Be careful what you sign.
By the way, you know what the funny thing about draft day and like when they depict Radio City,
Right.
they edited out the boos of Goodell. Just cheers. They should have left them in.
It's only cheers for Roger Goodell.
No, because it's sort of like it's become a ritual that Goodell gets booed when he gets up there.
He kind of
And
likes
he has fun with it. Like
Yeah.
It's like if you follow hockey, when Gary Bettman comes out there to present the Stanley Cup, doesn't matter. It could be anywhere. It's in Vegas, it's in Tampa. It's about the only time was in the COVID year when it was an empty building. Chicago, wherever, Bettman's getting booed. Tradition unlike any other. Well, not quite unlike any other, because the tradition like it is Goodell getting booed at the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter where the draft goes, Goodell gets booed.
Yeah. He was booed in his own house.
You know what we should do? We should record a commentary for draft day and all the things that are wrong.
Okay.
And just say, like,
have a draft day watch along on YouTube.
Yes.
Right.
And then it just lives lives on YouTube. You watch it along with the film, right? We'll have pancakes.
I love pancakes.
You know what I'm referencing, right?
Tell me. My mind's mush right now.
It starts like there's they refer to one of the GMs as a pancake eating bleeper.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, it's a bad movie. I mean, it's gonna be like the Ben Affleck commentary on Armageddon, where he's just ripping the whole notion that it has to be drillers that go up into space, that it can't be astronauts learning how to drill, that it has to be the guys that are drilling on a rig in the South China Sea or whatever, right? Because they're my guys. Why are they my guys? Well, they're the best. They're my guys. And you get anyway. If you find that clip, that's actually worth listening to as well. But yeah, that would probably be what the commentary was like for draft day. Like just ripping it to shreds.
I want to know who was the executive producer or what do they call it when you're like the expert that guides you through I'm going to show you the ropes of what this industry is.
The consultant?
Yes, something like that.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because there's actually a Broncos connection on a football film. And by the way, football films generally not great, right?
It's not great, Bob.
Baseball movies, a lot more good ones than football movies.
Mm-hmm.
Consultant on
Draft day.
On draft.
What does the
day.
Google machine say?
We'll find out what the inner Google tells us. Okay, let's see. Okay.
Hold, please. We can't go too longer. StreamYard will say, you're done streaming.
I don't think it says here on... Oh, the film... Well, it does say this. It was supposed to be centered on the Buffalo Bills, but it was cheaper to produce the game, to produce the film, in Ohio. And that's why it became the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
All right. And
so there's that.
Okay. Let's see. Where's the full production info on this film? I can't. Oh gosh, they're the goofs. They're on the IMDb. The font of the 10-yard markers of the Wisconsin and Ohio State game changes between shots. I love this, but I can't find the info, like who consulted. But anyway, to bring it to a Bronco thing here before we go. You remember the film Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino, right?
Of course.
And
Mike Shanahan.
And Mike Shanahan let Al Pacino have behind-the-scenes access. I believe it was during the 97 or 98 season, right? Let Al Pacino hang around for a bit.
That's cool.
It is cool. But at the same time, there weren't... How much of Mike Shanahan made it into that film? I mean, for one thing, Al Pacino wears a suit with an open collar shirt on the sideline. Doesn't wear coach's gear.
Right.
Anyway.
I wonder what Al Pacino said to Mike Shanahan. Right?
Say hello to my little friend.
Hey, Mike, you got a great ass. Maybe he said that.
I
don't know.
Man.
Never looked at Shanny's backside. And now the show has gotten weird. So we better wrap up.
This is not this is the thing. This is not just off the rails. This is weird.
Well, you talked about farting. I could talk about Mike Shanahan's rear end, okay? Come on.
We're not
Look at Jay. Jay's like, hey, Cecil, I got to go. Can't actually go out to dinner. You're really flipping weird.
We're not submitting this one for a local Emmy. Let's make that clear.
Okay. Yeah, that's a wrap.
Might submit another show for an Emmy, but not this one.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're
All
good.
right.
We done?
This is the closest thing I'll get to an Emmy.
All right.
Oh, it's about the same size, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
He's Mace. I'm Cease. I'm tired and hungry. Let's go eat. Stay tuned. And would you please, as always, stay frosty.